Hello, my name is Benjamin and welcome to my site tipsandfreeware.com. Today I would like to share with you a very simple Photoshop tutorial on how you can make a cutout effect in Photoshop. Okay, let's start. Let's open Photoshop, and this is the one which we'll be trying to do, a cutout effect in Photoshop. Okay, for this open a new file. It can be of any size, but for this I'm using this size, 800 by 200 pixels, and resolution 72 with white background. Click on OK. This is your new document. Click on the color palette in Photoshop and try to choose a color which is neither too bright nor too dark. A medium color works out better on this. Works out quite well, so I'm choosing this color. Click on OK. Now choose the paint bucket tool in Photoshop. This is the paint bucket tool, I hope you know. Just choose it and click on the document. This will fill your document with the color, background color that you have chosen. Now choose the text tool. Once you choose the text tool, on the text color palette, click on it. The idea behind is you should choose the same color that you have chosen for the background color. Now if you take the arrow to the color palette in Photoshop, it will automatically change into eyedropper. Click on the foreground color that you have chosen. Photoshop will automatically choose that color for your text. Click on OK. Now the font. You can choose any font, but the best thing is if the font is thicker and with a rounded border, it gives a much better effect. So for this, I have chosen EaseUS 93 font. This is by default already installed in Photoshop. It should be there in your system. But if you have any other better font, you can choose that. But for this, I have chosen this font, EaseUS 93. And the size of the font should be big enough to cover your document. For example, if I click here, it's almost covering more than half of the document, so I choose the size of the font to 100 point. Now type something. You can type anything. So for this tutorial, I'm typing the word cutout. Yeah, that's it. I've written, but obviously you can't see because the color of the font and color of the background is the same. Photoshop by default, it makes a separate layer when you type something. So if you go back to your layers palette, you can very clearly see the layer, the font layer has already been made on a separate layer. Now to apply, before we apply any effect, we have to rasterize this layer. Otherwise you cannot apply any effect on the text layer. To do that, right click on the text layer. Then you will get many options. Go up and click on the rasterize type. That's it. Once you click on rasterize type, the type layer will be rasterized and you will be able to apply whatever effects you want to apply on the text. Now since you cannot see the text, we have to do something. So for that, on your keyboard, press Ctrl and click on the text layer. Photoshop will create an outline of the text that you have just typed. Now we can see your text. Now what we have to do, we need to reduce the brightness of this text layer a little bit. So go to Image, Adjustments and Brightness and Contrast. Reduce the brightness a little bit so the text just pops out. You are able to see. So I'm going to use say -10 for this. Click OK. That's it. Now you can see, but keep your text selected. Don't remove it. We'll need it later on. Now go to the layer palette. On the text layer, double click on the text layer. This will bring out your layer style menu. On the layer style menu, on the left side, click, let's apply some inner shadow. So check on this box, inner shadow. Yes, there you go. And all these values of the inner shadow, you just keep it to default. I don't think you need to change anything. The default values works quite well. Once you clicked on the inner shadow, click on OK. Now you can see that your text layer has a very beautiful inner shadow already there. Now with the text layer selected, let's go back to the layer palette. With the text layer still selected, press the control button on your keyboard, go down and click on the new layer icon here at the bottom of the layer palette, because we want a new layer for this, but we want the new layer to be just below this text layer. Now if you press the control button and click on the new layer icon, Photoshop automatically will create a new layer just below your main cutout layer. The idea is we don't want the layer to be on top of it. Okay, now since this layer is now selected, we'll now fill it up with white color. For this you go to Edit, Fill, and click on this drop down. You will see so many colors. We want just choose white, click OK. So the second layer is already filled with your white color, but you cannot see it because of the cutout layer which is on top of it, and it is obstructing the white layer. For the moment, let's hide it by clicking on the eye of this cutout layer. We're hiding it. Once you hide it, your white layer comes out. You can now see. Now since it's already filled with white color, we can now deselect. We don't want this selection. So for that you press Ctrl+D on the keyboard. Photoshop will deselect. So make sure now this white colored layer is, let's just name it to white. You don't need to be confused. And there you go. So make sure that this latter white layer is selected. Now we would like to apply some blurring effect. So for this you go to Filter, Blur, select Gaussian Blur. Make sure the view is selected so you can see how much blurring you are going to apply, and then move for the radius a little bit up, down, and this. And I feel for this tutorial and for this effect I am going to go for 2 pixels of radius. Click on OK. Fine. Now go back to your layers palette here. Click on the eye of the cutout layer so it becomes visible. There you are. So now it is visible. Now the idea of having this white layer is we would like to give some effect to this cutout layer. So select the selection tool in Photoshop, the arrow. This is the selection tool. Go back to layer palette. Select the white layer. It is selected. Now on your keyboard we would like to move this white layer 2 pixels to the right and 2 pixels to the bottom. For this, what you have to do is press the right arrow twice and the down arrow twice on your keyboard. Okay, let's do it. 1, 2. Now the down arrow, 1, 2. You can see the white layer has moved 2 pixels to the right and 2 pixels to the bottom down, so it has become visible now. If you are satisfied, you can just stop it here. But as you can see, it looks a little bit more plastic type, very plain cutout effect, plastic type. So it's better if we can give some noise effect to this cutout effect. So what we do, we select the background layer again. Press Ctrl+J on your keyboard. This is to duplicate the background layer. Make sure the background layer is selected. Now go to Filter, Noise, Add Noise. We're going to apply some noise to it. Make sure it is uniform and monochromatic. And don't apply too much. As you can see, if the preview button is on, you will be able to see, and then just move the amount. This is too much. So for this, I'm going to use say around 8. That's good enough. Click on OK. Your text layer will look like this. Apply the same effect to the cutout text layer. So this is the layer, cutout text layer. Select this. Make sure that you selected this layer. Go back to your filter, noise, add noise, and the same noise, amount of noise we apply to the cutout text layer, and click on OK. So that's it. This is a beautiful cutout effect in Photoshop. I hope you have understood. If there's any questions, you can always comment, and thank you for watching.